very toxic. The regulatory level is 20 ppb. So for the aflatoxin, I'm more interested in the aflatoxin B1, which is one of the 16 natural aflatoxins produced by those two fungi. So aflatoxin B1 it fluoresces blue on the UV lamp. So because it fluoresces blue, so it's aflatoxin B1. And people have seen this map many times before. The drought in Texas in 2011 is the worst in Texas. And last year in the country was the worst in the last 55 years. So one drought occurs when we have other biogenic stresses. Aflatoxin problem does occur every year, both here, not here, not here. So the questions, I think my presentation will be the last one because I am talking about remediation. The other speakers talk about prevention. So when they fail, I need to get in here. So one corn got contaminated aflatoxin. What do we do with those contaminated corn? The very simple way most people are doing just blending. Blending is just dilution procedure. You don't destroy anything, they're still there. Another way, if people don't eat, we direct the contaminated feed to contaminated corn to animal feed, and animal to eat. And some people have this idea: if people can't eat, and animals don't eat, can we use those for biofuel production? In all of the procedures, I think the best approach is to remove aflatoxin from the system, so we can reduce the toxicity of the aflatoxin to animals and the human. So the approach we are doing is to use clay. It's called bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is a natural product. It's formed basically from volcanic ash. So after millions of reaction in the underground, they form the bentonite. Bentonite is a rock term, just like granite. Granite is a rock term. It has several minerals in granite. Bentonite is also a rock term for clay-sized rocks, but it also has several minerals in it. The dominant mineral is called smectite-rich clays. Smectite clays are we call 2 to 1 layer silicate minerals. They have one layer we call a titanium sheet, and another layer, we call a sheet. Titanium sheet, and that one octahedral sheet. They're sandwiched together. So this will form a 2 to 1 layer structure. This is the polyhedral model. Here we have the ball and the stick model. This mineral is very special. The size are very small in the micrometer range. And also they have charge on the structure due to charge imbalance. We have most time, ideally we should have a tetrahedral, just silicon 4, but sometimes we may have aluminum 3 layer. So in this case we have some extra electric charge on the tetrahedral sheet. Sometimes we also have the electric charge on octahedral sheet. So it depends. So we're going to talk about it more later on. Basically, they have charge. When they have charge, they can bring in a lot of cations into the structure, into the interlayer. Just like you put the sodium chloride in water, sodium traps hydrolyzed, so the water will get into the interlayer of the smectite. So this is the basic idea of the smectite. What we are trying to do is not the clay to absorb aflatoxin into the interlayer space, because this is a huge surface area, it's about 800 square meters per gram, so it's a huge surface area. The advantage of using clays is broadly available. There are more than 40 million tons worldwide, and the USA is the largest bentonite producer. So here we have some maps about the bentonite. Those red triangles are bentonite landing sites. One is the last bentonite producer. I also have some green discs. Green disc means fuller's earth. Fuller's earth is an industry term. In terms of mineralogy, it can be a bentonite, or can be another mineral, it's called palygorskite or apatite. I will talk a little about that. So basically what we're trying to do, because aflatoxin occur more frequently in the southern states, we are trying to evaluate those clays if we can use both bentonite and some of those fuller's earth for aflatoxin detoxification. So Another one of the major advantages for using clays for this idea is people have been using clays in animal feed for a different purpose as anti-kicking agent. So people have been using it. So it's culturally acceptable. It's not so new. Just we need to find the right clay for this purpose. Unfortunately, we have to evaluate problem over 100 different bentonite in different countries. Not all of them can absorb aflatoxin. There's more than 10 levels of absorption capacities. So we have to answer some very basic questions. What are the most important knowledge properties determining the high absorption capacity or selectivity? Right? For those don't have a high absorption capacity or selectivity, how do we improve it? So that's the second question. The third one, and the last one, how to ensure the performance in vivo. We have done a lot of experiments in the beakers or in centrifuge tubes, but one of famous clays to animals to chickens, pigs, we haven't really achieved what we have expected from that. So what's the problem? And also, how if people will always ask me this question: if you put a clay layer, will the clay absorb nutrients? Yeah. So how do we minimize the negative effects of clay if we are going to introduce the clay into animal feed? So those are some questions we would like to answer. So for us, as researchers, we have done several things, or actually we continue doing a lot of research work. So basically, those are some outlines I'm going to talk about today. We'll quick brief introduction about what we're doing. So the first question we want to know how aflatoxin interacts with the clay. Aflatoxin is a non-ionic compound. It's a neutral molecule. Doesn't have charge, but it has some partial charge. This blue area means a slightly negative charge, and this red area is a slightly positive charge. So it's a polar organic compound. It has a very low water solubility. Solubility less than 30 ppb. So very low solubility. So based on some our previous study on different organic compounds, how other organic compounds interact with smectites, we propose some bonding mechanisms. Firstly, we have demonstrated and have proved that actually the fraction with aflatoxin can't go to the interlayer of the smectite, which is well we're not going to show today. But what I like is how aflatoxin bound to the clay layers. We found out the most important problem related to the exchange cations, those cations in the interlayer of the smectite. One, if there's a strong interaction between those exchange cations and those aflatoxin molecules, the bonding will be very strong. So you will not be able to desorb the aflatoxin. Actually, we have some experimental data to support more than 99.5% of adsorbed aflatoxin cannot be washed out by just washing water to wash it. So it's very stable. Basically, it's irreversible absorption. So we did some both theoretical calculations and also some experimental data for those ideas. One way to prove the bonding strength, if we change those, just we call exchange cations, different cations, such as in this case we have potassium, sodium, lithium, barium, up to copper. We can see those bond shifts, these theoretical values based on computation chemistry. And also have some experimental data with sensitive different smectite and to aflatoxin online, and then monitor the infrared band shifts. Those are experimental data. So the experimental data match the theoretical calculation very well. So it supports our bonding mechanism there. And we have done more studies. We will continue doing more studies about the molecular dynamics. For those molecular dynamics, give us more ideas how aflatoxin molecules are arranged in the interlayer, how do they interact with the water, with the surface layer. So we can get a lot of information out of this, and also look at Shiraba, he's doing a lot of calculations in that. So one type of data we can so how close each cation or the interesting atoms, how close this one is linked to the other atoms. So such as in this case, even just for sodium, if we have sodium here, we found out that sodium will be hydrated, so there are a lot of water associated with sodium, but also we have this carbon oxygens around the water. So we have about half of those interactions here. So both suggest we have a direct We put ion damping interaction and the water abrasion effect. Those are the interaction mechanisms there. So we are doing more studies about say what's the optimum charge density, smectite, and also what types of exchange cations there, how much load it should be. So we can do a simulation based on to calculate the energy, and also we could know based on the distance between two layers. So we can learn how much loading is there, what's the optimum loading, and what's the optimum configuration there. So based on those data we have, we can see we do need the optimum arrangement for both for all those cations, the interlayer water, and also the aflatoxin molecules. If they have correct size for each of them, and then we can achieve the optimum absorption capacity and high selectivity. So the idea we had, so if we can have a smectite that has an adequate charge density, they will absorb certain amount of exchanging cation into the interlayer. Those cations will bring some water with them. So if those space between those cations are adequate in the size, matching those aflatoxin, we will be able to achieve the optimum absorption capacity and the high affinity. So this is the hypothesis where we have tested. So we use the three approaches to do this test. The first approach, we just replace the different exchange cations, which are very easy to do. Because different cations, they have different hydration energy, they will bring in different amount of water there. So we use one Greek clay for this purpose. What do? We put the potassium, cesium, sodium, and lithium, and also other different cations there, and then monitor the absorption capacity there. From this diagram, we can see the barium is the best one among all those 8 cations we have tested. But the barium cation is a toxic compound. So in practice, people will not use barium in such place for animal feed or for human consumption. So the calcium one probably is the most practical one. So in the following presentation, following slides, I will just focus on those 2 cations, calcium and barium. So we have another approach. If we can change the charge density of the smectite, we have 2 ways to do that. One, Mother Nature has offered a lot of options for us. So we have different smectites, they have different charge densities there. So we evaluated about 6 of those different cations. One for them is from Mississippi, which is one of the best clay we have found in this study. And another one from Texas, where we have a high affinity. If you have a steep slope, that means high affinity smectite clay. And another, if you have high absorption here, when the value will be high. I want to give you some idea. So if the unit here is 0.6 mole per kilogram, the molecular weight of aflatoxin is 312. If you do a calculation, 0.6 mole per kilogram is equivalent to 20% by weight. That means 1 gram of clay can absorb 0.2 grams of aflatoxin. So that's a huge amount of aflatoxin absorption. It's highly effective one. And also I want to point out here, in this case, we have some samples from Arizona and also from Oklahoma next one. They have very, very small initial slope. That means at a low concentration, they don't do much work at all. So we have to modify those clays. This is one of the examples. Another bad one is from Mexico. So it's not very good either. How do we improve it? Right. So we have basically summarizing this one. Essentially, there's a trend here. The optimum, the highest value, both for the affinity, key is the slope, basically the affinity constant. And then here is the absorption capacity. Basically, often should about the maximum value is about 100. We call exchange capacity. That's how much charge we have on the clay. So it's about 100. And then we have a chart here. This clay is not pure. So this we don't know what's the exact position at this point. So we have to use a different idea to do that. So in our third approach, what we did, we just find a high charge density clay. What we did, we just insert some lithium intimate structure. Lithium, just like we use lithium batteries, is a very small cation, so it can migrate very easily into the intimate structure. And now we heat it up to 250 degrees and fix it there. So in this case, when we insert the lithium into the structure, we can reduce the charge density. So by this way, we can manipulate the charge density of our clay and not investigate the adsorption. So what we found? Here is starting the clay, the CC with cutting chain capacity is 137. That's low adsorption initial slope. But when we reduce the CC to about 90, we can see we reach the highest adsorption capacity and selectivity here. But if we further reduce the CC, it goes down again. So it appears there is one optimal CC or cation charge density on the clay's flat. So if we have plot this side of the new data, but it's also about 100 or 110. That's the optimal CC. So this the clay we're trying looking for when go to the field. If we want to find a good clay, try to look at the clay, smectitic clay has a CC about 100 or 110 in that range. Another question we have investigated. Smectite is actually one group of 2 to 1 layer silica minerals. And then the charge can be from hydrogen sheet, can be from oxide sheet. And we have also different samples. Here we have this about 2/3 of the oxide cells are occupied. And sometimes actually we have the overflow oxide cells occupied. So we have a lot of different smectite minerals. So what we have done here, I just say, if those charge origin will affect the absorption. What we have found out here actually is just this. More importantly is the exchange cation type. It's not the origin of the charge. So probably if doesn't matter what type of smectites we have, if we select adequate exchange cation, we might be able to reach a higher absorption capacity on a 50 for after someone there. So my second question we want to do. Those are some theoretical considerations. Can we find more clays in the southern states? So we have done some study from because we're close to our school. So we have evaluated 6 clays from Texas, and also have done 4 clays from Mississippi. And lastly, we got 1 clay from Alabama. We're still looking for. Unfortunately, we don't have any bentonite commercially available from the other state, from South Carolina or Georgia or those areas. So we're still continue looking for more supplies for bentonite. Unfortunately, we are not very successful. But we did find some fuller's earth in Georgia. Unfortunately, in the fuller's earth we have got so far, there are not good results. So because we have reported our Texas bentonite several times, so I'm not going to repeat it today. One thing I just want to point out. We have those 3 Mississippi samples. The absorption capacity was 0.4.5. That's equivalent about 12 to 15% of aflatoxin based on weight. So still very high. So it's good. They're good bentonite. And also one from Alabama is also a good one too. So for the fuller's earth is we have 2 types of fuller's earth. One is called monotype type. Basically has the same mineral as the bentonite. Another one is called alpha-gite. That is because it's found in Georgia, Acknowledgements. But also people call it changing name to palygorskite. This mineral has an exact same 2 to 1 layer structure as smectite, but difference is called a modulated one. So after a few units, they will just flip the structure. So they form a tunnel structure. If this is just a long axis along perpendicular to the screen. So we have tunnels in this structure. The tunnel actual size should be okay because the height is about 6.45 angstrom. So it will only be about 4 or 5 angstrom the space for aflatoxin to go there. And also we have very close similar mineral is called ciculite. Ciculite has a little bit of white horizontal dimension. So what we're trying to do is to see if we can put the aflatoxin into those tunnels. So we have spent quite a bit of time and effort to locate some pure palygorskite and ciculite. circular is from Spain, is excellent one. Is palygorskite is from active minerals from Georgia. Unfortunately, none of them are absorbed very well. So based on those data, we don't think palygorskite or Fluorescence and alpha-fluorescence are good absorbents for aflatoxin. We still need to look for smectitic-rich Fluorescence if we want to identify more clays in Georgia or from Florida. So those are the efforts direction we would like to go. So the next one we have done is because we have done most studies in the big centrifuge tubes and just in the water in a relatively simple system. How can the clay perform once the animal is taken into the digestion system? So we did some simulation. Actually, we have done some animal experiment a couple of years ago. Basically, we just dump the clay into animal feed and then mix and feed the animals. They did perform. They increased the body weight, reduced aflatoxin level in the animal liver, and several did increase, but they didn't reach a 100% recovery. We still have some chickens died, and also we still had some aflatoxin in the livers. How can we minimize this? So we needed to investigate if we can improve the performance of clays in vivo. So some questions we need to answer is how those different pH, gastrointestinal composition will affect adsorption. Some other methods we need to consider about is this. We need to dispose the clay very well in the feed, so that when the aflatoxin can be in contact with the clay. Otherwise, if aflatoxin is here, my clay is here, they don't have a chance to interact with each other. There's no way for them to interact. So in this we have tried some ideas to see if we can introduce different ways to put our clay into the system. So here just some of the brief ideas we have. If we just introduce clay as dry powder, we can do oven gel, or freeze dry. And then this one we dispose them in water, and the last one we just use some polymers to stabilize the solution, the suspension there. So they showed some differences in there. But the major point I would like to see, in the gastric fluid solution, they didn't perform very well. Because in the low pH, there has a huge effect there, and also the problem in the gastric fluid, here we use one of the proteins constrained too high. So here is the water, here is just an acid solution. This problem, the fish we can achieve if we do well. Basically, the idea is a low pH, our clay don't perform well. So this is something we have to look a little more in detail. How do we improve the performance of the low pH? And also we worry about if the clays will uptake some nutrients. So we have done something like vitamins. Vitamin B, it can be absorbed by our clay, because vitamin B is a positive charged cations. So it can, by simple cation exchange reaction, it can be absorbed by clay. So it's not good news. But for other vitamins, we don't think it's a big deal, because our clays have some different surface properties required to those vitamins. So eventually, we would like to go to the real animal study with both chickens and with pigs. But once we found out those experiments are very, very expensive. So if we do one experiment, basically we exhaust all our funds. So it's very difficult to do a big animal experiment. So right now we have several ideas. One is using those small cages to house just one chicken instead of 5 or 6 chickens per pen. So this is why we hope we can reduce the cost a little bit down. So we're doing more. And also there's some preliminary data on our forestry trials. And the major trial we still found that when you do animal experiment or just like any biological experiments, the variation is huge. So we still a lot of samples to make a conclusion. So this is a difficult part of the experiment. And also the next one we would like to talk about, because the chicken experiment, pig experiment are too expensive. So we're trying to see if we can use some cytotoxicity, do some pre-screening before we go to the animals experiment. So our cytotoxicologist, he's helping us to identify which biomarkers will be the best. So he used some heat shock protein, once in the HPLC-B1, and we did see by what's what they call it, the expression of this protein on the heat control protein, also twice. This they use the Western blot method, and this is a very time-consuming part. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks to finish one cycle, so it's not practical for us to do a lot of experiments. So they are helping us to evaluate some other simple methods, such as AMCOE and other methods that we still doing some experiments on that. So this is one part for the cytotoxicity method. Another idea, we had a chance to collaborate with some Mexican scientists. We know that tortilla, if for Mexican food, tortilla is very popular. So in their process, they call it Nixtamalization. Basically, they just soak the grain in lemon water, and now from there they process the tortilla from the tortillas. They can then just by increase the pH, you can break up. Actually, one ring of aflatoxin B1 can open up, and then you can remove most of them. Because once open up, it can be dissolved in water. But the trouble is, once you eat it, once the pH goes to 3, the right close up again. So the toxicity will come back. So this is something we would like to see. Can we use the combined advantage of 2 approaches to the studies? So we have the team in Mexico and then in Papua. We visit a local family to see how they make tortillas based on Nixtamalization, very simple materials, and they just use lemon powder to treat the corn, and then it's not different products, masa, it's not final product, and then cooking them at high temperature. So based on those procedures, we always come out with one idea. Can we degrade or destroy aflatoxin during the food processing procedure? So one way, because they're cooking, so we're thinking about during the heating process, can our clay destroy aflatoxin or transform it into some less toxic compound? So we did observe some difference once we heat the high temperatures. In this case, we heat gradually from the room temperature up to 300 degrees. Of course, when there are a lot of changes there. But we did observe some difference in the fluorescence there, and also on the UV absorbance there. One thing very interesting to us, at the right bottom part is just pure aflatoxin. Doesn't matter, also time we heat up basically by the same, we do the same on the chair. It's just pure aflatoxin. But once we put an aflatoxin on the clay, that's in the first one, you can see we have some additional peaks shown up here. So those compounds we have spent some time to identify what they are. And we believe they are much less toxic compounds than aflatoxin B1. It's not an ideal case. If we haven't, we will not be able to decompose aflatoxin B1 to simple carbon dioxide. But we believe we have converted them to much less toxic compound here. So we have done some HPLC study and I try to identify them. And then those are some compounds. We have several compounds. We still work on one manuscript to summarize and to have more conclusive ideas what we have there. So basically what we think we have converted the aflatoxin B1 to less toxic B2 and G2 those compounds. So another idea we had, since people cannot eat the aflatoxin contained in the corn, animals cannot eat, can we just send them to the biofuel industry? Because we have a high demand on biofuel, bioethanol, right? But the bio industry, and one thing I want to point out is the annual production of fuel ethanol in USA. And last year we have a little reduction here because of the drought. So in this case, when drought occurs, probably is the ideal case to use those aflatoxin contaminated corn for biofuel production. Right? So this is where in the ideal case. Unfortunately, the biofuel industry say no, because aflatoxin will be concentrated in the DDGs, 3 times of the enrichment. So in this case, I talked to one of the local ethanol plant, and they set up the standard to 6 ppb. Our food standard is 20 ppb because they have 3 times enrichment, which makes sense. Can we remove aflatoxin during the biofuel production procedure. So there's some ideas we would like to test. Some idea, we think there are some possibilities here. One is during the pre-treatment, because in those procedures they will need a high temperature, a lot of water. Can we use some nixtamalization to unclave to remove aflatoxin? Another idea is during the fermentation procedure, we think it's more practical, because during the fermentation procedure, there will ethanol will be produced. Ethanol will be a much better solvent than water for aflatoxin. So if the aflatoxin can't go to an ethanol solution, alkali will have a much better chance to bind it. So that's an idea we would like to test. But the first question we would ask is, does alkali work in the ethanol solution or in the sugar solution? So we did two preliminary tests here. One we did in say 10% of ethanol, 20% of ethanol, and then just 0% of ethanol. Very encouraging is here, is the clay actually work beautifully here, even in the presence of 20% of ethanol. Ethanol in most fermentation solutions, the ethanol concentration less than 15% or something. That would be, and you will not reach 20%. So I think this is very encouraging. Another very encouraging part is one we have even 10% of glucose, which is a major sugar component during the fermentation process. Alkali still works very well. So those are very encouraging. Thus, we're going to continue the work. Actually, I have visited one of our ethanol plants in the northern part of Texas. We'll continue some work, and we're doing some analysis method, try to optimize our method to some real solution studies. So give you some brief summary. Firstly, we can say aflatoxin can be absorbed both on external surface and the internal surface. Ion-delta interaction, water rate are major bonding forces there. And the selectivity, and most critical part is that we must have adequate charge density, and if we have adequate exchange cations, or diamond cations, low hydration LH cations will be better ones. And also the charge density should be about 0.4. Right, so the size and polarity matching between the aflatoxin and the adsorption site is the key factors there. Now, high aflatoxin adsorption bundle are available locally. This encourages we don't need to go to other places to ship to pay very expensive transportation fees to get in place. I think we should focus on local. And also, if you do business locally in one state, it's much easier to do that. We think our smectitic can degrade aflatoxin to less toxic compounds, and also smectitic can remove aflatoxins from fermentation solution. But still, we have a lot of work to do. The last thing I would like to think about bonding agents. I think I used up my time, so it's perfect time to stop here. Thank you very much for your attention.
Are there any farming questions?
No farming.
I didn't understand, one of the things that some of the nutritionists have told us, a good question, the use of clays in livestock feed, is that tying up of vitamins. Do you think that we have data to show them that it can be effectively used, or do we not have data?
I think it really depends on what types of vitamins we're talking about. Because our clay is negative charge, if we are positive charge, then it will be absorbed, such as vitamin D, that's the case. But I think for vitamin A, E, or the other sense, I don't think our clay will absorb them very much. I don't think it's a big concern. Our last question, if the quantity we always can control. As we just mentioned, some clays can absorb up to 20% of aflatoxin. If you do a theoretical calculation, most aflatoxin in the feed or in food is in the PBB level. We really don't need too much clay there. So the question is how to optimize the use of clay in the feed and in the food. That's the key point. Yes, I think that's some hunting, yes.
Do you have any idea what it costs to treat a ton of aflatoxin corn with the clay?
The clay itself is very cheap, actually. You can buy $56 by 1 ton of bentonite.
That's why.
$56 you can buy 1 ton. function.
That treats how much?
You can do calculation. If you are talking about 20% of aflatoxin absorbing toxin, if we're talking about the maximum absorbing capacity, that's how much? 0.2 tons. 0.2 tons of aflatoxin. That's about it. I don't know. That's the ideal case of 100% of patients. Unfortunately, it's always not the case.
Any more questions?